Welcome to Ask the Trade Pros, a show where a couple of trade guys talk about trade stuff. We're here to answer your questions about HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and any other home system and help keep your home running smoothly. I am Jordan.
And I'm Todd.
Recently, I had a conversation with somebody who purchased a home earlier this year. She told me how she was surprised about all the things that were included in the inspection report, and she had some questions about the different information that was included.
You want to be able to make the best decisions when buying a home, and a good home inspection report can provide critical information you need when going through the home buying process. So today we're going to go through what's normally included in a home inspection report and what to do with that information when you receive it.
I, for one, am happy that inspections have come back. During COVID, we were doing no inspections.
That is very true.
So let's talk a little bit about choosing your home inspector, Todd. A home inspector is just like any other person or product that you're going to use. You need to do a little research and a little preparation to choose the right one. We can't just assume the real estate agent has the best home inspector out there. You may want to talk to your home inspector ahead of time. How long have they been doing this? What's their training? What are their credentials? What are they looking for? What are their priorities when they're inspecting a home? This would help you make the best choice of a home inspector that's not just phoning it in, as some of our customers have said, but rather cares about the details and knows what's important and what's not important.
And always read reviews as well.
We love good reviews, don't we?
So during the home inspection, a home inspector is going to thoroughly assess the condition of the property. Some of the examples of what they're going to be looking at are your structural components. This includes the foundation, walls, roof, floors, and overall stability of the structure. Second, they're going to be looking at exterior features. The inspector's going to check the siding, windows, doors, gutters, downspouts, and any other outdoor components like decks, patios, or fences. They're going to cover interior features. They're going to inspect walls, ceilings, floors, doors, windows, stairs for any signs of damage or defects. They're also going to be looking at your plumbing system. They're going to assess the plumbing, checking for leaks, proper functioning of faucets, toilets. They're going to check your water pressure to see if that's adequate, and also the condition of the pipes. They're going to be looking at your electrical. This involves inspecting the electrical panel, checking outlets, switches, light fixtures, and ensuring compliance with the safety standards.
So Todd, when they're doing this inspection of the pipes or the walls or the electrical, what kind of things are they looking for?
Well, with plumbing, for example, they're going to run every faucet in the house, your tub, toilet. They're going to make sure your toilet's flushing properly, not backing up. They're going to make sure your bathtub is draining. Pressure's good coming out of all the faucets, no leaks coming out of the top of your handles. All that stuff's going to be noted in their report along with pictures. So they're going to check your HVAC system. The inspector's going to look at the heating, ventilation. They're going to assess the operation, efficiency, and try to locate any maintenance issues. One thing they are not is a HVAC service tech. So they're not going to be able to identify leaks in the systems or if components of the system are weak or etc.
So on these issues, you would recommend that we get a specialist for a plumber, for an HVAC. I had a friend who just got a home inspection and they waived the AC inspection because the systems are only 2 years old. However, the home inspector himself found a minor problem with it. Once they got the actual AC inspectors out there, they found the system was leaking even though it was 2 years old. So you would recommend that?
Absolutely. So how did your friend find that problem? What did the inspector tell her?
Well, the home inspector was looking at the temperature delta, which is the difference between temperatures coming in and out. And that was too low for the requirements of the home inspection.
Which would be a sign of a problem. Yeah, absolutely right.
Which system should I get a specialist out for?
Any HVAC system, you're going to want a specialist.
Okay. Would you recommend it for other areas? Plumbing, roofing?
I recommend to send a professional out for anything, whether it's electrical, plumbing, HVAC. Nowadays, everyone wants a home inspection report because they're going to provide you the base information that you need, but you're always going to want to look further and have a licensed professional check those things out for you in more detail. So they're also going to talk about appliances and fixtures. They're going to test all your appliances, such as the stove, oven, dishwasher. They're also going to get in your attic if you have an attic, and they're going to check insulation and ventilation as well. And they're going to see if there's any potential issues, such as moisture, mold, or pest infested.
Rats in the attic is what you're talking about.
Yeah, we're talking about rats in the attic. Exactly. The last thing they're going to check is safety features. They're going to be looking at your carbon monoxide detectors, if you have them, smoke detectors, and other safety measures. While each home inspection report is going to be different depending on the inspector and the home, here are some of the things that you can do when you receive the report. First, you're not going to want to be overwhelmed because if you have ever read an inspection report, some of them can be upwards of 100 pages. So you're going to see a lot of pictures, a lot of red writing, a lot of blue writing, a big summary. But Jordan can talk a little more about what else you can look for.
So let's start at the beginning, how to read the report. The report will be broken down by section: electrical, plumbing, HVAC, foundation, interior, exterior, as Todd said earlier. Each one of these obviously covers a different area of the home. In that section, you will then have numbered items, often attached with pictures and drawings and details to explain to you. In that, the home inspector may say something like GFCI not working, needs to be replaced, flue pipe in the wrong place, safety issue. Some of them will say recommend doing this work. Some of them will say need to do this work. Some of it will say contact your trusted professional to inspect it to advise you on what needs to be done. Keep in mind your home inspector is just a generalist, so they know what to look for, how to cite it for the software, but they don't always know if it's done to the latest standards or latest codes. This is where your trusted advisor comes in. What you are going to want to know on a few items is you're going to want to know, are any of these problems ongoing issues? That is, will something get worse? An example, this could be the rats in the attic or the termites. If you don't treat those items, things get worse. You want to know major versus minor problems. So oftentimes a home inspector will cite literally everything that they can see. That's good information to know, but some of this is not relevant to you as the buyer or the seller. They might be minor items that you may or may not want to get to. You may not even want to negotiate them. That brings us to another point. Which of these items should be included in your BINSR report? That is the report between the buyer and the seller that's going to tell you what the buyer is requesting that the seller address. In this case, you want the major and expensive issues. You want air conditioning systems. You want plumbing systems, you want foundation cracks. Every home inspection ever done these days has a sewer scope. You want to know if the sewer line is collapsing. You want to know if you have gas problems. You want to know if you have roofing problems. Those are very expensive problems to fix down the line. And you're going to want to have the seller address those if possible, whether through discounting the house or actually fixing the problem.
So if it was me, if I was looking at a home inspection report, I would be looking for the large item things. Is it going to need a roof? Is it going to need a new HVAC system? Is it going to need a repipe? Does it have polybutylene piping that right away you're going to want to replace that with upgraded piping?
Another important issue would be safety items. Those are very paramount. That would be carbon monoxide leaks, gas leaks, unsafe plumbing, unsafe sewer lines, things of that nature. And lastly, you might want to look at future versus present issues. A good example of this is your air conditioner system. We see this all the time. An old R22 system on a house. Well, it works. It's perfectly fine. The house is cooling. It's 15 years old, maybe older, and it cannot be repaired anymore because R22 is a banned refrigerant. Well, it's not a current present issue, but it will be a large expense for the homeowner in the future. So you might want to look at that. You might also want to look at a water heater. It may be working perfectly well, but if it's 15 or 20 years old, it's ready to explode. So you might want to address that issue.
If you go through with the purchase of your home and there are still issues on the report that need to be resolved, you can treat it as a useful guide to repairing and upgrading your new home. If you're not sure where to start, call in your local trade pro for help.
Thank you for joining us today. If you found this helpful, then be sure to follow us so you don't miss a future episode.
And if you want to know more about your home-related topic, send us a voicemail or an email and we'll talk about it in a future episode. Check the show notes for our contact information.
And don't forget, if you need a quality service provider, the folks at Done Right Service are happy to help you with your HVAC, plumbing, or electrical systems. Call them at 520-369-3966 or find out more at donerightsvcs.com. That's DONERITESVCS.com.